Live from the Preston Highway Studios, it's 24-hour Purple People. And now here's your host, John Harper.
Well, hello and welcome to 24-hour Purple People. My name is John Harper, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you along for the ride today. As we are all set to talk everything Louisville City and the world that surrounds it. Happy Halloween, everybody. Just my normal hat for if you're new to the show. This is what I wear every single show. This is not out of the ordinary at all. We thank you guys for joining us. We'll get to our main screen momentarily. If you are new to 24-hour Purple People, where have you been? We have yellow cards and red cards in this program. Tonight, Catherine will be in charge of my red cards and yellow cards. I will be in charge of my partner, my co-host for this evening's yellow card. Without further ado, I guess we should go to our main screen. Ken Luther, hello, and a good evening.
What's up, baby? What's going on? Woo! Cincinnati!
What the hell is that? Oh, my God. I apologize on behalf of everybody. This is by far the earliest red card in the history of 24-hour Purple People, without question. How dare you? I can't see what's going on prior to the program until I push the button to see the main screen, just like you guys see it. I see it when you guys see it. If I would have known that was going to happen, I would have selected a different co-host. Hope is available tonight. That's who I should have messaged this afternoon. Oh, goodness. Yeah, well-deserved indeed. All right. Well, we'll get to the show. Famdemonium. We'll start off with last night's very impressive playoff win for Louisville City. The opening round, at least for us, as we hosted Pittsburgh, a team that we are always seem to be playing one way or another. We seem to meet them in conference finals and semifinals and things of that nature all the time. One of the crazier games that I have ever watched. We don't see Lou City go to penalties in the USL playoffs too often, but there's been some historic times, to say the least, that we've had some amazing extra time games in our history. Russell Cicerone and having 2 goals for Pittsburgh, his second one in the 49th minute. Ken, I kind of want to start off on this one talking about just how poorly Louisville City played, it seemed, for that first 75 minutes or so. Danny, we've talked about multiple times, makes great substitutions, makes some great calls when it comes to that, and he made some good calls last night with it, but only 3 shots on target going into the 82nd minute of this match. What did you see up to the point of the comeback? What did you see from Louisville City last night?
Well, it's a tale of a couple of different parts of the game.
Turn your mic up.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but not that great. I'll get you there. I've got buttons. Keep going.
All right. So it's a tale of 2 different parts of the game. The first half, it was hard to watch. We play this team a lot, but we have a lot of kind of key players that are playing on knocks. As Danny Cruz alluded to in the post game interview, or are out. The injury list is offensive and long. Not offensive meaning I'm offended, meaning it's a lot of offensive players, with the exception of Kyle Morton.
I'm offended by the start of this program. Keep going.
Okay, so that was an award-winning Halloween costume from like the 2017-18 supporters Halloween party we used to have.
I don't care.
Brilliant.
All right.
I like the hat, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So getting back into the game, it did not look good, and I didn't have a super good feeling about it anyway. Looking at our injury report,
Mm-hmm.
I know, when you play Pittsburgh, they have Bob Lilly is known for strong defensive tactics. It seems like he's breaking out of that shell a little bit. The majority of the strength of his team this year has come from the midfield. And they were really able to kind of press in that midfield area, not allowing anybody to be able to have any time and space to receive the ball from our back line, which is kind of how we like to play. So that was a real problem. And so we played a lot of long ball over the top, but again, they've got these really big backs, so it's hard to kind of win those duels in the air. I don't know what the duel rate was. I'm not sure it was in our favor because you played a lot like that, which caused a lot of problems, especially when you don't have a speedster like Brian Ownby, attacking down the flank. That opens up a whole new part of the game for you. So it was a little concerning watching that and knowing that may be, one of the problems in our play going for the next couple of games. You get kind of worried about where we're at this point in the season with the injuries.
Yeah, without question. I mean, it was not a good, looking at the injury report prior to this game, Gonzalez out, Kyle Morton out with what did you call it? A
muscular strain is what they said on the TV. So,
okay.
Strained a hammy or quad or groin or calf or something. I don't know.
Something along those lines. Strained. Yeah. So, Danny Fontes obviously stepped up when it counted, but 2 goals on him.
That's a great story on him. Did you? I didn't know that he was a walk-on tryout. That he paid for his own, travel expenses to be able to come and try out for the team. Did you know that?
I did not.
I did not know that either. Amazing story, and here he is playing a starring role in our fight for the 3rd star.
Yep, very significant role last night in this match. You were talking about duels. I'll go over a few little stats, tell the tape for you. We had 66% possession last night.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Let me just in the first half, it seemed like it was kind of even. He's like, I got a yellow card. I'm already on a red and a yellow because I interrupted. But I want to talk about this.
No, keep going. Go ahead.
So the first half, it seemed kind of even. And one thing that's annoying me about being able to get quality data is, I guess you have to have some sort of password to the sports engine on the USL site to look at the heat map. Because I'd like to kind of see where it was in the first half, because it seemed like it was kind of even. It seemed like, we were pushed too far out on the wings because they had kind of cluttered up that midfield.
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to keep the ball and kind of pass it around in the back and doing searching attacks up the flanks, but didn't have a whole lot of love to be able to work it all the way up through that middle third. So I think the possession stats are going to reflect that. We started to dominate possession, certainly when we were, going down 2-0 after they scored. And then you're going to kind of see that lopside towards the 66% total game. That's how I think it played out, but I can't really tell because I don't have good data to look at.
Yeah. There's some key stats here. One of the more impressive ones, I think, too. We had 775 total passes to their 403. We moved the ball really well last night. I think that's something that we've been very strong about. When we have not had possession percentage or we haven't won the percentage overall, it's usually been fairly close. And also, even in those games, our passes, we just have very accurate passing. And I think that's just key at this level, especially in the playoffs. It speaks to a team's composure, I think, more so than a lot of other stats in soccer. I think when you make accurate passes, you're taking your time as a team. You have a strategy that you're sticking to, things of that nature. So even through those first 82 minutes, only with those 3 shots, we just weren't getting the connections we needed in the box. And those are on target shots. Okay. So, but nevertheless, I think things really turned up, and Danny is just a substitution wizard. Interesting substitutions along the way there. Matt Soso for Serrano. I was when that happened, I was a little little head scratcher on that. Maybe fresh leg, something that maybe Coach saw there. You think, Ken?
No, he was changing the shape. So we started out with 3 in the back, with then our 2 wing backs, shooting forward like we've done. But I think what we're having trouble with, so much trouble. You said accurate passing. You're absolutely correct. A good mature team is going to have accurate passing, especially one that plays like us. But a lot of those were horizontal passes as opposed to going up in the field, because we weren't getting any kind of love to be able to pass in the center of the pitch, which didn't allow us to get numbers forward on the attack. So when we got those wings pushed forward, whether it was the wing back or somebody else, it was the wing backs a lot, especially Manny Perez. We didn't have enough numbers in the box to be able to get a good cross in and get good love on that. So I think that was probably one of our issues last night. But he did get out of that 3 in the back and started to change the shape to more 4 in the back, and then he was just crushing numbers forward when we went 2 down. It was at times like 2 in the back if you really want to look at how he spent most of the look on the field, which is, we have two great center backs. He pulled Wes Sharpie out. A lot of people were scratching their head on that, but that's just because he was going back to 4 in the back instead of 3.
Yeah. After all those accurate passes, all it took was a rebound on that one. So Manny Perez coming up with right place, right time, scorching it in, finally getting one past White.
First goal of the season. Woo!
Yeah, you can't
Deserved.
get better timing than that. Moments later, Josh Winder drawing the foul, and then Lancaster getting what Lancaster gets. Definitely our PK taker of days gone by. Good to see him getting that goal and having him sub in same time that he subbed in as the 3 subs that Danny made in the 69th minute. Then we move along. We're tied 2-2. We're heading into extra time. How'd you feel at this point, Ken?
Oh, momentum was certainly in our favor. That we were dominating possession at this point. We had definitely pushed Pittsburgh back into their own end, and we were getting the majority of their chances. They were still able to break on us a couple of times and get a couple quality chances ourselves. But this is, it's playoff football. It's what you got to do. So I felt that even after that first goal, I felt that momentum was shifting. You can only, have people pass the ball around you so much, you get worn down, you get a lot of tired legs. And I think what was highlighted, we highlighted it with the academy kids last night, and Danny Cruz certainly talked about that. But what was highlighted is we're able to bring in almost line changes of subs, 5 now instead of 3, which has kind of changed the game. But we have a deep bench of quality players. Everybody on that bench is expected to be able to come on and play well, and they all do. And other teams can't do that.
Yeah. Mike Pendleton, I think his name is, a big Tampa Bay fan. He had tweeted that the rules in the USL was if the game between Memphis and Tampa got delayed again today, that Louisville City would have to take on both teams. And I was thinking, we're probably the one team that could, if we had, let's say, 22 on those combined 11, I mean, we have a lot of depth. We know that. We've had depth all year that has come in very, very significant in all the injuries that we've had. And basically, last night, I feel like, I don't want to jump ahead, but last night was basically the year for us summarizing the game. This is a special team for Louisville City. We've talked about points leaders, win leaders in our club history. Now heading into the 8th straight Eastern Conference championship, which is just unbelievable. So, kudos to the boys. We got into penalty time, always nail-biting situations. We had Tosh Weiner, Jimenez, Metsoso, and then, of course, Mogul coming up with the goal of his life, I would think. He is a Louisville native, so scoring in front of his home crowd, 19 years of age. Just couldn't write a better script for the end of that match last night.
Yeah, well, when we scored that first one and Danny made that save on that first kick, I felt we were going to win it right there.
Yep.
I really did. I felt that we were going to put all 5 in, and it didn't matter at that point. They were going to put 4 in, we were going to win it. So
I have a yellow,
what'd you do?
probably for not mentioning Danny with those 5 goal scorers there. I should have said Danny first. Danny did set the tone for the other 5. You happy over there? All right. Yeah, it definitely was a just crazy environment. Had some shades of some old games. Everybody was heading down to the Cooper's End, filling up the stands down there. It was wild.
Low attendance, 8,500.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Nice tease though. There's
segue.
Yeah. I want to quote Coach Cruz. I found this to be a very interesting quote. This is from Louisville City's website, I believe. There's a lot of people who do a lot of work to get where we are today. There's a lot of people who do a lot of work to get where we are today. I know I've said it 100 times, but the emotion I feel now is pride. I know how much everybody puts into every single day. That was special. The atmosphere was special. The goals were special. The support was special. That first line, there's a lot of people who do a lot of work. I was kind of, when I read that, I guess because of the situation, I felt like that might have been a little, little wink of the eye by Coach Cruz there. Maybe saying, hey, we know there's a lot of supporters that do a lot of work too. Just saying. I'm not trying to get off subject.
Thank you, John, for doing all the work.
Yes, it was all me. Trust me, I was shouting some crazy stuff. It was Halloween weekend. You got to do a little mojo, a little voodoo action or whatever.
Well, let's talk about Danny Cruz's. There's a lot of people doing a lot of work. I think there is a lot of people doing a lot of work, not only from supporters, but also from, people we like to criticize a lot lately, like front office people. We have to be thankful that we have, some dedicated people that have been around the organization for a while and in the front office. And there are quite a few individuals that I respect greatly, selling tickets and doing stadium stuff. They have certain sets of rules and policies they have to abide by. We don't necessarily do that. We just have to be clear on the repercussions. But I tremendously respect people doing work at the game, in the tactics department, in the front office, in the supporters groups.
Yeah,
beer sellers.
And something too, I'd like to. I walked up to my favorite bartender last night, and this is not me trying to get "Oh, John, you're so nice" from everybody, but.
Oh, John, you're so nice.
I won't go into too many details. I don't want to I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But basically, I was like, here, I need you to turn these $20 in cash into something, and I need you to put this $20 somewhere. The stadium does not accept cash. You get the picture. The point being, Ken, is there are real people affected by some of the stuff that I support to do. I don't want to spend any money right now. People have made that choice. Some people made that choice. Some people haven't. That's fine too. But so that was my way around it. I guess the point of it is like, I just I don't want people to be way out of tips at the bar. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no. Some of the normal serving staff, especially on Estopano end, are getting killed with no tips, which is a second, third order negative effect of all of this shit that has happened. So just remember that. And I think I bought a beer last night and I got hungry. I had to have some pizza. So I got some pizza too. So I spent a little bit of money. I was hungry, man.
Regurgitate it all. No. Okay. Well, it was a heck of a game, and it was a great atmosphere. We were all it was kind of crazy last night. First off, I landed in Louisville about 4:30ish, and I was extremely tired. Thank you, Hope. I was extremely tired. I had jet lag, and then it was like, okay, well, I want to drink some beers before I go in here because I'm not going to buy any, and so I had some beers, but I had them in a very quick time period. And that sometimes can do something to a man. And so I was jet lagged and added that to it, and it was just interesting. The game was great. The atmosphere was great. We saw a lot of people posting videos on Twitter and online of the penalty kicks and the end of the game and the penalty shootout, I should say. That was pretty cool to see. There was 100. That's the best thing about penalty shootouts, I guess, as far as from a standpoint of media, is it can be filmed because you're anticipating it. So I'm sure Kyle got some amazing video of that. We've already seen a few of them floating around today. But lots of supporters, lots of fans on the field. Paul Miles is always real good about getting some great shots. He was down on the field during that penalty shootout. So that was really fun.
They haven't done the shootout in the Estapano end before, other than the women's team, right?
I'm about to say that was the first one that I've. Yeah, because I know during the Open Cup it was always down Scouse's house, I believe. So
is that another wink, tip of the hat? We appreciate you, even though we can't say it. I'll take it as that. I will. I'll read into that. I'm probably totally wrong. But.
Oh, you mean to have the PKs down there? Yeah. Hey, it might be. It might be. It might be.
Nobody's saying it's not. So
right. Right. We want to make sure that you guys know you can chat along with us on the live chat. Hey, there's Carl. Hello, Carl. You can chat with us, have fun with us tonight. We have a lot to cover, somewhat. Four topics, and we're going to keep those topics going, aren't we, Ken?
Oh, we're still on the first one.
We are still on the first one. Well, you kept going on about God knows what. I've been thrown off since the beginning with the Cincinnati thing. I'm just.
I won first place in the competition with that costume. Were you there?
Did you get a trophy?
Saints.
Did you get a trophy?
I got a clock.
Yeah. You mean tell you where you can shove that clock?
I got like $100 gift certificate. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Saints. Many years ago. Back when supporters groups used to do shit together.
Yeah.
Oh.
Friday night started the semifinal round, of course, for the USL. We're now going to transition, by the way, into the rest of the USL. We had a game in moments ago that we'll talk about as well that had an unbelievable finish as well. But Friday night started. We had San Antonio, Ken, hosting Oakland. Oakland coming out of a victory against San Diego. But not getting the job done here. San Antonio, pretty easy victory, 3-0. Although Oakland did have 70% possession, so that
possession does not win ball games.
No, it does not, and you can see
average
that
numbers on San Antonio all year. They're a non-possession team. They are a team that I think
which is scary
with. They clog up that midfield, and I am hoping that can I talk about this now, or am I going to get on the yellow card and get thrown off?
No, I mean, well, I don't know what it is. What are you talking about?
I was hoping that I hope that Colorado beats San Antonio. I think that's the good team. I think that's the team that can beat them. I don't know a ton about the West. Haven't watched a ton of games, but I think that is a team. They started out really hot in the season, fell off probably because of injuries or something like that. But they seem to be cruising now. Sacramento is a very good team that they beat. They sacrificed themselves for the Open Cup and almost did it. So, I think San Antonio is the team to beat. Obviously, the points leader right now. I want to see them fall to Colorado, so we can have a home game here if we go through. But I also don't want to play San Antonio at all.
Yeah. I don't think any team in the USL right now wants to face San Antonio. Yeah, the other Western match, as you kind of alluded to, Colorado Springs getting the victory over Sac Republic, which also happens to be one of my favorite stores at the mall. 2-1, a 95th minute goal in extra time. Kind of stunned Sacramento there. Starting off extra time and immediately a goal by Michi Galani.
I'm just going to let you stumble through that.
Shut up. But yeah, Sac Republic definitely looks stunned in that one. It's good to see. Colorado Springs has a great fan base. I wouldn't doubt for 1 second that they're going to be the host of the USL Summer Showcase at some point, because that's a fantastic stadium. They're building condos right up against the edge of it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a whole urban project kind of in Colorado Springs. So it's
Colorado Springs.
Yep. So hopefully that's something that we can kind of emulate here at some point. But they have a great fan base. I'd like to see them come to Louisville for the championship if we get to that point. However, we must discuss how we're going to get to that point, Ken.
Right. We just found that out today.
We just found that out in a game that was delayed last evening. Heavy
and then delayed, so we couldn't watch it until 20 minutes in or so.
Yeah, so
up on YouTube.
So the USL's Bush Leagueness strikes again, folks. If you were not trying to tune in to the Memphis Tampa Bay game, it was not on ESPN Plus for the longest time. It ended up going onto YouTube, and I don't know if anybody was keeping up at the time on Twitter. Chime in if you did. But I don't know if the USL actually said anything about it being on YouTube until like way later in the game. So it might have been on YouTube for longer than I was watching it. I just picked up. I started watching it at halftime. It was a commercial. I didn't realize that it was on YouTube, but that was bad. I really wanted to watch that game. Nevertheless, for those of you who missed it, it was 0-0 in the 94th with 4 minutes of stoppage time. Memphis draws a penalty.
Yep.
Huh?
Maloney took it.
Yeah. And an amazing save. Amazing save by Brino, is it?
Envelope.
So, with all that and all the extra time, so it's still, like I said, 4 minutes of stoppage time. We go all the way down the pitch to the other end, and Tampa draws a penalty, and they knock it home to beat Memphis and eliminate them out of the playoffs. And the stage is set, Ken. A rematch of the 2021 Eastern Conference Championship and a rematch of the 2020. Oh, gosh. Sick
This is what I wanted, though, right? And I think I wanted this. For a couple of reasons. One is I want revenge. This is a revenge thing, right? This is on our home. They've beaten us in our home before, 2 years ago, right? The COVID
playoff. Cup.
Mm-hmm. And then they had to scrap the finals because everybody got COVID. And then just going to the game. I was one of the lucky few that went to the game and just got our hearts ripped out.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. So I was looking forward to this. I also think after watching this game today, I think we match up better against Tampa. I think part of that is because of the players we currently have out on injury. I think Memphis is one of those scrappy teams that's going to press, especially in that midfield.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we would have a lot of trouble without our offensive starters. You know, the talent that's currently injured, we'd have a lot of trouble fighting our way through that. It will be another scrappy game where we picked up lots of cards and things like that. I think we can do better. Is that English? I don't think so. We can do better against Tampa Bay in a matchup, and then it's got the revenge aspect. So I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, you couldn't write a better ending to the season for both of these teams. Hopefully not us, but this is where we want this rematch, and we want it at Lynn Family Stadium, and that's what we're getting. So that's definitely exciting to see that. Tampa, as we know, is a dangerous squad. Leo Fernandez with 20 goals this season, Ken, and we've got there's some familiar faces on Tampa, and it's just a team that plays us really well. And we know that they'll be bringing their A game as well, so we have to be ready. They have not looked to be in top form as of late. They have not had – I mean, they had a pretty easy victory over Miami at home to open up the playoffs. They ended the season on a 4-game winning streak, but they just had some victories that were not that impressive, I thought, at times. Except for they did beat the Lights this season 6-1. Anything, you say you prefer Tampa over Memphis, and we got Tampa. Any other reasons that you would think that, other than all the drama that would surround that?
I don't know that reasons specifically. I would say this, though, that I am worried about our ability to win this game. I think we have some significant players out in the offensive line that I think we're going to struggle with getting forward, and it's going to look a little bit like the game we just played. If they can clog up that midfield, which they have some pretty good players to do that, then I think we're going to really struggle getting that ball forward. We've got a lot of injuries. Danny Cruz indicated that people are playing on Knox or something like that, however you want to see it. There's, it's like we're limping across the finish line here. Where's the litter bearer? People are getting carried across. So it's going to be an amazing run. I hope for the best, but I'm a little worried that we may be running out of
steam. Running out of steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's been a challenging year with all the injuries and setbacks that the team has had, but they somehow made it work. Last night was just, not to go back to that, but it's just crazy how that came together. And, a lot of people were walking out last night a little early thinking, I'm done. I'm done. But for those who stuck around, it was definitely worth it.
We were headed to the door. I was just like, fitting in. Fuck this. Headed to the door. And I ran into you. Mm-hmm. You're like, and then we started talking. And
You're
then we
welcome.
hung at the Rabbit Hole bar. And then and it was probably about 70-some minutes when we started talking by the Rabbit Hole bar there, watching the game. And then they scored a goal. And then I was like, oh, now I feel a lot better now. So,
yeah.
There's a huge momentum. It was a little late. See, it's not good for my heart, I don't think, or whatever, to be a fan of this team if they're going to do that. That was not a comfortable win. That was not very nice.
No.
They can't go 2 goals down and get all the way to the 80th minute. Let's not do that anymore.
No, I would rather not do that either. I'd like 5-0. So Michelle can post her favorite GIF. That's what I want. I want the 5-0 GIF. We need those kind of wins in the playoffs. Obviously, it'd be nice to not have nail biters, but it's playoffs. Everybody's going to bring their A game, and it's really going to be something going into next weekend. I'm hoping that it's going to be a beautiful night. My mom's birthday is on Sunday as well. My birthday, if you're curious, and Matt Dalton's birthday is Wednesday. Ken, have you gotten me anything this year?
No, but we're gonna go drink, right?
Sure. I'm not gonna plan my own birthday.
Oh God, I got to plan shit? No, not me.
It's a special birthday for me. I turn a special age.
40.
30.
40.
3.
You hit 50, and it's like 10 times worse.
30. Oh, Zach turns 18 on Thursday. There's a lot of November birthdays. Okay, I want to circle back to some of the comments we've been getting. We appreciate everybody watching and chiming in with our episode this evening. We are glad to be with you this evening and glad to be back. Well, we skipped a week. A lot of discussion between all of us. Of course, this thing was launched back in February, on February the 27th, and or 22nd, something like that. I don't even know when we started. No, 27th. And it was Glenn, Matt, and myself. It has kind of expanded. We've added, we've subtracted, we've added again. It's going to be a revolving door at times, so we appreciate everybody's patience and support. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. That's when I should say that, right? So we appreciate everybody's support, but of course we're all, which ties into what I'm about to talk about. We're all, going through things right now, right? We talked about on our last episode. The title of the episode was "Where do we go from here?" And we still kind of have that feeling in a lot of ways. We're still a little out in lingo land on how we feel about things and how we support at this point and all that. And I think there was a comment about the Banners getting some TV time being down at the Estopon end, which I thought was cool. I was kind of looking at some of the videos that were like, it seemed like they might have been chopping them up. But let me say this. Anything that USL posts on Twitter or anything associated with the USL, good luck figuring out the format you are going to get of a video, because it sometimes will be vertical. It'll sometimes be horizontal. It'll sometimes be 16:9. It'll sometimes be 4:3. I'm like, I don't understand the reasoning behind all that. But nevertheless, one thing I wanted to bring up, which is our final topic of the day, and it'll be the part of the episode I think that people might want to chat with us a little bit more with as well. And that is a discussion on decision. Now, I'm not going to get into exactly every little thing in my mind here, but I did want to say something. As you know, last match, we did not have scheduled capos. So I am I'm a very low-key individual. So I don't really think about things that I personally say and decide and do being something that is taken as something used on a larger scale. So I had told the capos that I wasn't going to capo the last match. I didn't feel like doing it. We were going to have family at the match and stuff like that too. And I just felt like it was better that I didn't. And that kind of turned into the capos were on strike. Now, the thing is the capos were, first off, we're not union. Secondly, we kind of discussed, and I think everybody kind of agreed on that, but then some people had tweeted some stuff, and then next thing you know, it was like I was speaking for a bunch of people. And I want, to say that I was speaking for myself, but I'm also in the frame of mind where we should continue putting the pressure on the front office for what we know. We need answers, and we need some change, and we need more, right? I don't think that, in my opinion, that, and the reason that I decided to capo last night is because I felt like the boys needed our support, the players needed our support. I mean, there were some videos coming out, was it Serrano, I believe, after the match last night with supporters and family on the field, breaking down, emotional. There is passion with this club. There's passion with those players on the field. We want to support them. We want that third star, and we want the right thing to be done with our club. But I feel like we can continue to do our version of protest and our version of support, whatever is helping you as an individual get through this and not lose the passion and the love that you have for this fan base and for these clubs. We all are coping with it. Some of us are more vocal than others, but if we're not that vocal, doesn't mean we're not agreeing with the ones that are vocal. And it's vice versa too. There's people that don't agree with people that are vocal. They don't agree with the banners. But a lot of people don't understand soccer a lot in this area. I don't think they don't understand how soccer works in a lot of ways. There's always, in a lot of situations throughout not only the United States but the world, banners about different things. We had banners, Black Lives Matter banners. We had different things that we wanted to cover. And of course, we support a lot of things the Coopers do, and all the supporter groups do. So I feel like we have to get through this together. And for me, when I came to that last game, I'm not going to go into the details. I couldn't even I couldn't even walk into the actual stadium. I walked into the stadium and I walked about halfway around the concourse, and I just had this weird feeling. I just couldn't be there. I don't know. And I've gotten over that because I feel like this team, the guys on the pitch and all those people that do work hard for this club that are outside of any guiltiness. Okay, I want to support them. Going back to me finding my favorite bartender, which wasn't at Rabbit Hole, which you said like 6 times. Jeez. So, okay, that's my little rant. I didn't realize that somebody told me last night about my influence. I didn't really know, because I don't think that way about myself. I don't really think of it like that. Now here I am on this show. I'm doing this for the love of 2 reasons. Love of the team, and I say teams, both racing and Louisville City, and I love video production stuff. So, I mean, if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably have a podcast about wrestling, or I would keep making City Skylines videos.
You got a really big head too.
Teaser. Thank you. A lot of people didn't go. A lot of people didn't go to the game. They went to a watch party.
Yeah. So attendance 8,500 for a playoff game. Second round playoff game. Semifinal. Is that what we call it? Yes.
Yeah, and I think some of that had to do with everything going on. I think some of it also had to do with the fact that it was Halloween weekend, and a lot of neighborhoods were doing their Halloween on Saturday night thing, which should be against the law, by the way. Also, University of Kentucky was playing Tennessee. It was at Tennessee, but that was a huge game.
Making a lot of excuses.
I know. I said that some of it had to do with everything going on. It wasn't all because of your, the Highlands Halloween on Saturday night.
Yeah. I drove through remnants of it, like drunken monsters on street corners when I went home.
Drunken monsters. Yeah. I mean, some of us don't have the
Which
luxury.
is normal in the Highlands. It's just extra during
the luxury
Halloween.
Dark chocolate Hershey's over there. So, hello, there's Bon Bon B from Worthing, England on the chat. So, Ken, I hope you soaked in all that giant rant. I just wanted to I'm not the type of person either, because all that was going on, and I was like, I'm not going to tweet anything about this. I'm not going to say, I didn't say, I mean, what?
Yeah.
I'm adding to the, putting fuel to people's fire that I don't, and not in a productive way. There had been no point in me talking about that, but I did feel bad. I apologized to Herman and Carl and some other people, because I didn't realize that was going to be, completely. But the Coopers did agree on that, and stuff, and went forward that way. Like I said, I just feel like for the boy, I mean, the noise, despite that small crowd, I mean, some of the noise last night in key moments of the game there at the end was really loud. You wouldn't have thought that. Of course, a lot of people migrated to that end of the stadium, but it got very loud, and that's what capos are supposed to do. They're supposed to get you be loud so you'll get loud, and to push the team to victory. And that's why we're doing it, to push hopefully the team to a championship. All right, say something. I can't keep going on about this.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a yellow, man. I don't know. I interrupt, and I'm going to get a red card.
I'm not going to. Okay.
A tie for my last record of 2 per show. There was the last game of the season after the Detroit game midweek. There was a lot of still lingering emotion, and there were a lot of people that now had been angry at each other in different ways. So it was manifesting itself to that game, and it's over. It happened. Things happened, and I think people have to just, they don't have to do anything they don't want to do, but maybe it would be helpful if people just kind of thought about where they want to be, because we can't predict what's going to happen, the fallout from all this shenanigans with the front office and all this shit with the Racing Louisville team. We don't know what's going to happen. I know that all the corporations and leagues and all that stuff are getting their talking points together. They're making sure that their stories are going to be told in some version of the truth. maybe not the exact truth is going to come out, and people are going to make a decision, and we're going to move on with our soccer clubs. Makes all the sense in the world to have soccer clubs here, so I'd hate to see it that they're lost, but we can't control the future. I know, John, you have a ton of influence because you have that giant head. So you have this amazing amount of influence over everything, but we're just supporters. We're just, we're human. We're not paid employees, and we're just trying to do the right thing by our club. So, everybody's going to point out what they think is an injustice in a different way. And that's the way a free society works. And maybe we should refrain from social media. I'm probably guilty of that just as much as anybody else, but refrain from shouting each other on social media and just get along and figure out how to get along in the future. And I think we're struggling because, the whole soccer stadium that we have here in Louisville, Kentucky is a microcosm of greater society, where you have a whole bunch of different types of people that go to one place and meet and intermingle. So we have to figure out how to do that without killing each other. That's important to our free society.
Yeah.
So
I think, and two, I think I was saying earlier, and I didn't really finish that thought, but I was saying this is Louisville, and like in some areas of like a protest at a Portland match is different from this, and not saying that this is saying that we shouldn't be doing it, because we should, but their fan base obviously is a little bit more. They've had soccer in their core community for years and years and years and years. It's been a main sport for a long time. Portland, of course, only home of the only other main sports team there is the Trailblazers in the NBA. So a little different maybe for some people. But my point on all that was, even though I might not be as vocal, or somebody else might not be as vocal, whoever, it doesn't mean that they're overall not in support of what needs to happen. We want accountability with people that enabled abusers. It's pretty much simple as that. Now, to your point with the social media thing, I think that there has to be a continuation in a lot of ways to keep the talk going of all this. I'm not going to, say how, again, going back to it all, there's not really a wrong or right way to go through this, because we are all so affected from it that we have to find ways to get through it. I mean, it's been challenging. That's why I couldn't go into the stadium.
I didn't even go that game. I knew it was a non-starter for me, so I had to go. I went camping.
Yeah, you went into the hills
by myself.
I mean, I flew out to Las Vegas. I just,
You did. You pulled 100 at Thompson, man.
Yeah, it's like, whatever. I'm out of here. No, I mean, everybody's just in a frame of mind right now. We're all trying to get through it all. The good news, Ken, is we will have another opportunity to display our support one way or another, and that's next Saturday. Now, I'm not sure if the watch party is going to happen again. And if anybody was in, by the way, David, thank you. Halloween is on October 31st, not Saturday. But if anybody was at the, because there was, am I getting this wrong? But there was a watch party. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. I just was asking if anybody maybe was there, wanted to chime in about that. I don't know. We, again, it's just tough. You want to love the team, love the players, and want the win, but you also want to do a lot more right now.
It is tough. We know that there are young men playing on the team right now that mean a lot to us and didn't have anything to do with the horrendous job of management that our front office did. A lot of people are blaming James O'Connor for a lot of this stuff. Okay. Blame him for hiring Holly in the first place. Blame him for being asleep at the switch when things were happening underneath his purview. Fine. As soon as he found out, he hired him. So at that point, I don't know. I just think he's a great general manager, recruiter of player, spotter of talent, writer of contracts, management of soccer club teams, and all that stuff. When it comes down to like human resources and PR and communication strategy, he absolutely sucks. So, maybe that's where he's got a lot to learn. Maybe, hopefully he's learned it. It doesn't seem like it. But I believe everybody's kind of solidified in what their story is and what they know. And regardless of what comes out in the future, we're going to have something, and people are going to get to a decision point of what they need to do as far as support. And there's no shame in doing whatever it is you want to do. Supporting the club, don't support the club. Don't be a season ticket holder anymore. Don't buy beer in the stadium. Whatever makes you comfortable, because next year is going to happen. So, what's going to happen is the results. Nothing's going to be definitive. It's all going to be gray and muddled, and there's going to be no perfect answer that comes out. And now December, when the next report comes out, it'll keep getting delayed. Watch. But now, nothing's going to be perfect for anybody. It's going to be some sort of huge compromise, whether it sways one way or another, depending on your point of view. I don't know. But you're going to get to a position where you have to figure out how you want to support the club. I like the people that I've met and I'm friends with. I talked to a lot of great people yesterday. I got a lot of great hugs. So that is probably, and I'm not a hugger. So that's probably what is most important to me. It's not necessarily watching 22 people kick a little ball around the field. It's more of the community aspect, which I think the ownership group has lost track of.
Yep. Well said. The whole thing was well said. Yeah. Walking around the stadium last night and just, I've always said I'm real bad with names. Okay. Anybody out there, I apologize in advance. But just running into people that I always say hi to, and nothing like I don't talk to them for half an hour, but just, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Familiar faces and stuff like that. And then of course there are people that I have long conversations with, and I really enjoy being around other members of the fan base. Man, it doesn't matter, supporter group, whatever, throw all that out the window. It's about friends. We've made so many, and now we're all a family, and we're all in this together, and we'll get through it together. It will be okay in the end, but doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory right now. And we hope that report comes out sooner than later. Hopefully with the NWSL, congratulations, Thorns, Portland Thorns. Hopefully with the NWSL season over with, it'll become a little bit more of a focus, get the ball rolling a little bit so we can get through that. All that being said, that report, I don't know exactly what that report is going to say, or I'm not going to dive into that. Maybe we'll dive into this whole thing a little bit. Maybe in next week's episode we could talk about. But, there's so much that came out in the Yates report. I'm not really sure what the second report is going to tell us that we don't already know, or tell us that's going to help out in any way. We'll see.
Well, there's a whole bunch of things happening right now, because you got to remember that the people who have been interviewed for the report are putting their stories out, whether they make it into the report or not, whether it becomes part of the report. Everybody's getting their talking points together. They're getting their stories aligned. This is why this is not going to come to some sort of perfect conclusion for everybody, because it's going to, we're talking lawyers and litigation and all this crap. So yeah, it's all the stuff that we hate, but it's all the stuff that's happening right now.
Yeah.
So, who knows? It's kind of hard to imagine how, hiring a guy when he was a predator and then having stuff happen underneath your watch that predators do. You don't have some sort of guilt, whether it's just, I don't know what the fuck I was doing and fell asleep at the switch. I don't know, and now it's an ownership thing. The whole media blackout. We're not talking to supporters groups and all that stuff. That's a choice that's been made by Soccer Holdings board.
Yeah. There's a bit of a little underlining battle there.
Sure.
And, hey, I know a bunch of those people too. Not as much as, people on a first name basis. There's a few that I definitely know on a first name basis that, I know that they get their higher commands and stuff, but
yes,
they're
good people. There are a lot of good people with the
no. I mean, there is. They're not all under the same umbrella. I get that. But there was just some weird things. that I think we need to, I don't know. That's why I just feel like we have to continue this fight. We're not crazy, okay? Like, I'm not crazy. Somebody else might be crazy out there. I know Carl's kind of crazy, but
It's okay.
yeah, but
Different.
like, but we're not going, I am not going to like punch somebody in the face upon being approached about something. Um, so there's no reason, Ken, to send goons or anything else to stop
Goons. Oh
to
God, I
stop
didn't know
me.
we still had goons.
Goons. So Bon Bon, guys, if you didn't know, he reviews City Skylines maps, and he said to hit that like button. He's a YouTuber. He has like thousands and thousands more subscribers than we do. So thanks for watching. Ken, next Saturday is going to be a special night. As we talked about earlier, you're writing, you could not write a better story than this. One of the first people I thought about was Kyle, who's the videographer, who makes those amazing little, almost like little 5-minute movies to recap matches. And he's been making that YouTube series all year. I mean, he's a very talented individual. And if you recall, very first episode of that video series is replaying in slow motion and very dramatically the end of the 2021 Eastern Conference Championship. Now it's our turn. It's our turn. It's our house. It's the two best teams in the Eastern Conference. And one team moves on for a chance at a cup, and one team goes home. Ken, we'll close tonight with just some real quick closing thoughts on what has to happen for Louisville City to get that opportunity to play for the championship.
We got to get healthy. We have to rest and do the compression crap or whatever, the sucking things, the whatever, I don't know what they're called, the hot rocks, yoga, Yoda, Jedi, all that stuff. We got to get healthy. That's the first thing we need to do. I want to be in a position where we can play 3 out of the back, at least to start. I like the way we've been playing that, especially on our field. But the statistics, I don't know enough about Tampa. The statistics might not say that's a very good idea. The models that they run to do that, I might have heard. So, but I would like to see that, and healthy enough to see that. Cameron, he didn't leave with an injury. They were only going to get 20 minutes out of him, or whatever, 25 minutes out of him. He did as much to not risk another injury. So I keep seeing in my picture, I keep seeing a log cabin pop up. Is that me, or is that you?
Oh, it's no, I've got Valheim on my background.
Okay. All right. Just fade me out to Valheim.
No, I'm trying to look at another a little website here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I'm glad you're listening to me.
I am listening.
And in conclusion, that is how we'll win the game.
I'm not sitting here selling stuff on eBay. I was trying to bring up some stats to look at about something that you're talking about. Go ahead.
No, I already did.
Do you see what I deal with here, people?
The tactical plan. You got it. I got it. I gave the whole thing. Operation Overlord. Let's go.
Okay. Well, what I would say has to happen is, as much as I just talked about the drama that all that video that Kyle did and all that, and I think Carl said it best on the chat, gut-wrenching, that show, that first episode.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't watch it. There's no way.
Yeah. Flipping the script. I think all that being said, the team needs to take a deep breath on this one. I feel like we are a better club than the Rowdies in just about every way, and I feel like that we could probably get a victory against them a little bit. I just feel like last night with Pittsburgh, we talked about Lily Ball. They played a certain style of soccer with us, and I feel like that Tampa is not going to be prepared to play that kind of soccer. They're very high octane at times, but Louisville City finds a way to shut teams down. We've seen that multiple times this season. They play tough when they need to play tough. Danny, Coach Cruz has had an outstanding year. Doing the right call, making the right calls at the right time. His substitutions last night won us the game, more or less. So, I feel like we've got to take a deep breath as a club. We've got to not let that revenge factor, although I might make a revenge banner. The revenge factor can't like overtake our emotions. Obviously, it's going to be high emotions next Saturday, but yeah, I just think we have to take a deep breath, know who we are, play our style of ball, and I think if we do, we're going to be playing for a championship. Hopefully, we'll be playing against Colorado Springs, so it'll be here.
Yeah, and I know what I don't want to see is I don't want to see us go down 2-0 until the 82nd minute. Let's not do that again.
No, please, no, it's not good for my heart. There's no telling what's happening in this chat right now.
Oh no!
Becca said the word husband to Katie. David did say they had a watch party at their house, had a decent turnout. Some people ended up going to the game. Like I said, it's going to take a little while to get, we're all just kind of like right now, it's like, I want to do this. I was texting with you, Ken, Saturday morning on my way back to Louisville and saying, I think I sent you like this, text or the whole group of texts about, I'm planning on going, blah, blah, we're going to capo, blah, blah. And then I think next text I sent to you was, you might just forget all that. I might just stay home. So it's like, so I don't know. It's just.
We went through all week trying to figure out what we were going to do. We were like, we opted out of our playoff tickets just to give us that kind of freedom of choice.
Right.
Plenty of tickets available. We ended up buying tickets like $225 or something like that, way up in the stands. You kind of look down on the field. A bunch of little kids right behind us. So to avoid, getting in an altercation with a little kid, we decided to leave.
It's been known to happen. From you, I know. But, well, hopefully that doesn't happen. Maybe one of these days we can get you back over there standing up.
I was in the stand, man, but I tell you what, I need to get my knee fixed before I
you do
do anything stupid like that.
Well, we appreciate everybody's support. When we tweeted about the show today, multiple people retweeted us and stuff like that. So we do appreciate that as much as anything else because that gets us seen out there. Just to give you a little peek behind the curtain, one thing we've looked into is Facebook Live. We've looked into all other media services. YouTube Live is kind of the easiest for us to use. You might have noticed before the USL show is live on Twitter. The reason we do not do that is because so Twitter, you have to have a certain amount of followers and things like that before you can actually start posting live, I believe. That's the only thing I can really figure out because I've gone through all the steps and it doesn't allow us access. But that's something that we are looking hopefully to do in the future. But we do really appreciate everybody's support and being in the chat tonight. Yep. Just reading the chat. I'm not going to read everybody's message on there. I just don't, I'm not trying to say it on this is what they said. You guys can read it in the chat, but I agree. I know it's mixed emotion mania at the FAM right now. And last night I've kind of lost my voice. I'm not yelling and I'm not screaming and I'm not singing and I'm not chanting for anybody else but the people that are on that field. Okay. I'm not going, come on, you front office people, Come on, give them a break. It's pretty, I know, but I'm just saying it's pretty obvious. I think everybody's on that same page and we do care about this team and care about the boys and Danny's just done a phenomenal job and 32 years of age. Do you know that? Youngest coach, I should say, in the USL.
Yeah, Pyramid's another one of the super young ones.
Pretty cool what we got going on with this team right now. So, all right. Well, again, thank you all very, very much. Thank you very much, David. Appreciate that. We are want to continue this going because we want to have a forum for everybody to also meet. I think that's kind of important right now to kind of have a little place for everybody to get on a live chat. If you guys decide to join us next week, we would appreciate that as well. And please don't hesitate to chat, ask questions. One thing we've thought about is having a show where we basically just don't have any topics and we just kind of go along with the chat. It would be kind of hard to do just because we wouldn't have really any talking points on certain things. But that was something we might do that in the off season when we don't really have that many topics to cover. So going to be an interesting weekend coming up in the USL. Obviously, we were down to the final four. 4 teams at a shot to win the 2022 USL Championship Cup. Let's hope it's Louisville City. We are ready to beat and destroy and get all that revenge out on Tampa as long as we just take a deep breath and make the right moves, as Ken said, play our style of ball. So, all right. Well, I do want to remind you, we have audio forms of this coming out on Wednesdays on Spotify and things of that nature, anywhere you get your podcast. We're also on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. Of course, we're on Twitter. Don't forget, we do appreciate you hitting that like button. And also, I guess that's really about it. Ken, any closing statements for today? This is usually when I get red carded by Katie when I'm on this side of the screen. Any closing things?
Yeah, I know it's tough for people. Some people are opting not to go to the games, but I've always found that going to the games. No, I haven't always found this. I was reminded of it last night that I don't necessarily go to the games to watch soccer.
It's a social event in some ways.
Yes, it is.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Well, we love watching soccer as well, but we love seeing you guys, the Purple fam out there. As I said last week, the hardest part of that entire show for me was just talking about all the great people that I have met through all this. And it was good to see people last night that I hadn't talked to in a couple of weeks. It's funny just how much you miss people. But we hopefully will not miss you when you tune in next week to 24-Hour Purple People. For Ken Luther, I think I've got all the plugs done and all that I can possibly do. For Ken Luther, I'm John Harper. We will see you next time, hopefully, whenever that is, next Sunday. Hopefully, we'll be the Eastern Conference champions by then. So we are 24-Hour Purple People. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. No red. It's pretty awesome.
You got one. You're done.